Hello, 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 and welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Lavella, and we are continuing our journey through Whispering Winds, which is our forever world. Sorry, I was a little distracted. I was finally remembering to set my timer. Because trust me, if I don't set that timer, even though I don't cut immediately when it goes off, this will end up being a 2 hour video. Minecraft is not the kind of game where I can just stop. The Uh, First, let's check this before I get sidetracked. Okay, we're doing all right. Oh, we need. Do we have any more coal? We have some. Not a lot, but some. Put that in there. So that'll keep going for a while. Um, First of all, I tend to get sidetracked. There's so many things to talk about, and half the time I will lose my train of thought in the middle of my train of thought. So, just a warning. I think to get started, we are just going to make just a big basic shape. And we may come back and change these and like smelt them and change them with smooth and that kind of thing. Um, I'm gonna need another pick or two. But for now, we're just gonna get some blocks down. When it comes to building, if you are really trying to learn to be an amazing builder, I'm okay. I think um, I think my stuff is okay. I've been told that I'm a good builder, but and what I build, I enjoy. So not to sound arrogant or anything like that, but that's really what's most important. Like I said before, if you're happy with a dirt house, enjoy a dirt house. Don't let other people tell you, oh, well, you can't use diorite because diorite's ugly, and only people who don't know anything about building use diorite, and oh, well, you shouldn't use this because it's ugly, and good builders don't do this, and good builders don't listen to all that mess. Uh, if you are really looking for building tips from someone, that's one thing. And if you're trying to find your style and you're trying to experiment with different methods and different palettes and that kind of thing, then yes, it is good to check out other builders and look and see what they're doing and try different things and learn different ways and then put it all in a blender and make it your own. You know, um, as far as what is considered by the Minecraft community and myself, my personal taste, what's considered what I would call maybe legendary builders. I would say Fwhip. It's F as in Frank and then WHIP. He is outstanding. He has a talent for city building, for planning. Um, he's got a great personality too. He's quite enjoyable to watch. Um, but he is exceptionally creative and talented, and I thoroughly enjoy his content. And uh, there's a an SMP that is called Hermitcraft, and I don't know where am I going. I was going to check the other crops. Um, to me, they're so famous in the Minecraft community that the idea of somebody not knowing who they are seems strange to me. Is that quite finished? Age 7. Yeah, okay. Uh, But believe it or not, there are some people out there that don't know who Hermitcraft is. But basically, it's an SMP that has over 20 YouTube content creators on it. And they stream on Twitch and they do videos, and it is phenomenal the amount of talent. And some of them are amazing, incredible builders, and some of them are just fun. There's one that maybe not may not be the best builder in the group, but always fun, always enjoyable, always entertaining. It's a great mix of people. Anyway, uh, like I said, there's more than 20 to choose from, and most of them have been around for over 10 years. So, what was I gonna do? Oh, let's go ahead and just do the. Let's get rid of that. We didn't come in here just to do that, but I do want to get that out of my pockets. Um, I don't know why my bees keep disappearing. They just fly off into nowhere. At one time, I had 4 bees because I bred them up twice, but every time I look, there's only one. So I don't know if they're just staying in the hive all the time or what. But anyway, let's see. This first layer, let's make it rather tall. Let's do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. How about that? Yeah, let's do that. Oh, I was going to make another pick. That's why we went back. That's why. But anyway, if you're just wanting to learn some basics, I'm not a horrible source for that. We're going to make 2 picks. I do okay for basic build styles. And if you want to watch how my process is and get some ideas, there is definitely plenty of room for improvement. So maybe you don't like sandstone. Maybe you like the shape of the build, but you're not a fan of sandstone. So try something like this and do it in solid stone, or do it in quartz, or do it in whatever, cement. Um, just play with your own style. Just figure out what works for you. But anyway, there are all kinds of people out there that provide content that are absolutely outstanding builders. If that's what you want to focus on, if that's what you enjoy, and it makes me sad because a lot of times, um, by the way, block picking, in case you're not aware, if you have blocks in your inventory that match and you use the middle mouse button, it will find them. Anyway, your scroll button is what I mean. Um, but it makes me sad when I hear people say, "Well, I can't build. I'm not a good builder." Compared to what? Are you comparing? Maybe you've played Minecraft for a month, and you're comparing your build style to somebody like BOO who's been doing this for 1,000 years. Is that why you think you're not a good builder? Because you're comparing yourself to somebody who has literally a decade of experience compared to your 6 months. Um, when you say it like that, it sounds kind of silly, doesn't it? Because it kind of is. I mean, I totally get it. I mean, I'm quite aware that my style is not the most popular style. I'm not like Gemini Tay. She's very well known for her build style with cottagecore. I think cottagecore is awesome. I love it. I love the lush. I love the glowberries. I love the vines. I love all of that stuff, and we're probably going to do quite a bit of that here, actually. But um, her eye for detail is pretty incredible, and her ability to do organic builds is pretty incredible. And I've never been good at organic builds. My brain just doesn't process that. So it's just not something that I've ever really spent a lot of time. Now, if I practiced it, if I followed some videos and did some practicing and did some research, and I could get better at it. But to be honest, it's not something that's a real interest for me. I enjoy seeing what other people can do with it because I find it interesting, and um, I don't even know how long ago it was, but pearlescent, dadgummit. Well, we'll get that later because I don't want to have to jump down there and get that block. Pearlescent Moon, and these are old videos, but she used to have these videos that were time lapses of creative builds for organics, and she did all kinds of stuff, but my favorite one was a wolf. It was breathtaking. I found it breathtaking. And even though that is definitely not something I see myself doing, um, I thoroughly enjoyed watching her content because of that. She's also on the Hermitcraft server, so is Gemini Tay and B00, and like I said, there's more than 20 of them. There's no way I'm going to list all of them. But if you're interested in it, all you got to do is go into your YouTube search and type Hermitcraft, and you'll be flooded with options. But anyway, my build style is, I use the word basic a lot, and I know sometimes people think that's a negative connotation because they're like, oh, basic, which means it's not really good, it's just basic. Well, to me, basic means not complicated. It's not a quality thing. It's a, I don't know, density thing. I don't know how to explain it. To me, my stuff is basic. It's simple. It's a simple logical process, and I do have a creative nature, but I tend to be more. I don't know. I think that's why I have such trouble with organics because, well, for example, I keep dancing around the bush. For example, here's the thing. Several years ago, my father, when I was a kid, he used to do stuff all the time, and he was an artist. He's still an artist, but he doesn't utilize it anymore. Excuse me, I'm sorry. It's completely caught me off guard. He just doesn't use it anymore, and he hasn't for a lot of years. But when I was growing up, well, we had, when I was, like I have said before, I'm 58. I'll be 59 in October. And when I was a kid, we actually watched a television, and it had knobs. There was no remote control. That's why you had kids. So you had somebody to yell at to go change the channel for you, even if they were in the other room. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Even if they were in the other room, you could always yell at them to go change the channel for you. But anyway, on Friday nights, there was a program, and the host was dressed up like a vampire, and he was trying to mimic, the stereotypical vampire during that time, which he wasn't really that scary, and I don't think he was actually trying to be scary. But the movies that they showed on his program were supposed to be scary, and for that time, they were. They were considered horror films. Now, the stuff that's pretty normal, somebody would look at that and go, "Really? That was scary to you? Really?" It was. It was super scary. They had these gargoyles that were giant gargoyles, and they would come and they'd swoop down and they would steal somebody and take them back to their cave. And then the humans would have to get together and go rescue this person from these evil gargoyles. And it was all scary. It was dud 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 all the time. And then there was this creature from the Black Lagoon, and he had gills on the side of his neck, and his head looked like he had a bowl on it, and his head looked like a fish, and then his body, he walked upright like a human, and then his hands were webbed and his feet were webbed, and he was scaly and dark, and he would come up out of the lagoon and get you, and he was scary. And today you put a kid in front of that, and they'd be like, "So when's it gonna get scary?" it, you look back at it now, it's pretty lame. But at the time, it was scary. Okay, it was scary. Anyway, my dad had this roll of butcher block paper, and I don't even know if they have butcher shops anymore. But back in the old days, you're going to hear that phrase a lot from me. Back in the old days, uh, people actually went to a butcher shop to buy their meat, and the butcher would wrap it up in butcher block paper. Well, my dad had a roll of it, and so what he would do on Friday nights is like the creature from the Black Lagoon. He would draw me a sketch of the creature from the Black Lagoon, but it was just like shoulders up, right? And then another night it would be a vampire, and another night it would be the blob, and another night it would be a gargoyle, whatever the creature of the night was. He would draw that for me, and oh my gosh, it was amazing. Anyway, so finally at one point he rolled this huge strip out. I swear this thing was 6 feet tall. Well, if you stand it up on the floor, it was 6 feet long or more. And he basically took pieces from each of those creatures and made it into one life-size sketch of a monster. So maybe it had the fangs from the vampire, and maybe a widow's peak, and maybe it had the scales from something else, and the wings from the gargoyles, and he just took bits and pieces from each of the different creatures and put them all together into one. Uh, it was my most prized possession. It was unbelievable, and I don't have it anymore because my natural mother destroyed it. When my dad left and they had to go through a divorce, she decided to. She was not exactly a mentally stable person, let's just put it that way, and move on. But anyway, so my dad was an artist, and he also did a lot of artwork for our church. He was a deacon in our church, and he put together their church bulletin, and he took all the photographs, and he would actually process them in a black room, where you have the red light, and you've got the tubs of chemicals, and you have to hang up the pictures on the string. He did all that. And we had a bus ministry, and they had I need to make a stone cutter. What do I need for a stone cutter? It's not going to tell me. Uh, do I need to smelt that again? Anyway, oh good, we haven't used all of our stuff yet. Good. Anyway, he very artistic, and for the bus ministry, he would make poster boards, and he would draw things on the posters that were used for telling Bible stories, or maybe it was a picture for playing a game with the kids or whatever. He just could draw just anything. It just didn't matter. He could draw it. And he was very creative with the bulletin board, and he put together a directory of all the members and with all of his photography and stuff. He was just fantastic with that stuff. Anyway, the whole point of this is my father is extremely artistic, and even in his latter years, well, I wouldn't say latter, mid years, I guess, he used his creativity for creating uh, wood stuff, furniture, jigsaw puzzles for kids with great big wood pieces and different things like that. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. Okay. We didn't need the smooth stone. We just needed the stone. Put that back. Okay. I went a crafting table out here. Anyway, my dad, as you can imagine, loves artwork. Oh, goodness me. Okay, I think that qualifies as a storm and not just rain. That was loud. And but he was a police officer, and he didn't. I mean, he wasn't poor, but policemen don't exactly make a whole lot of money. So that was the thing. I'm a thinking, I'm a thinking, I'm a thinking, I'm a thinking. Mm, I don't think we need to carry this hoe anymore, but I do need some scaffolding. Anyway, so many years ago, he had a couple of prints that he had bought, and they were not original, pieces of art, but they were nice looking, and they were the right colors for his living room and that kind of thing. 4, 5, 6. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's do 3, 4, 5. Let's put it here. Anyway, he had these prints, and he wanted to get them custom framed with matting and all that. So I went with him, and at this time I was an adult, and he picking out these mats. This, and I'm like, Dad, there's no way that's gonna look right. That's weird. That's not gonna work. And he's like, oh yes it will, trust me. And I was like, there's no way those colors are gonna go together. It's gonna look weird. And he's like, trust me, it'll be fine. And sure enough, when he got when we went and picked them up when they were finished, they were absolutely stunning. But he could look at that and go, okay, this is going to work, and that's going to work, and this is going to work. And my brain doesn't work like that. I have to see it. I have to look at it and go, yeah, I'm not crazy about that. Or I have to look at it and go, oh, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. But I can't, I don't, I mean, I'm not saying I don't ever have ideas, like, just abstract ideas, but I just am not one of those people that can just think up stuff in my head and know exactly how it's going to look and what shading I need to use and what textures I need to use, and that's my brain just doesn't work that way. I have to see it. So, a lot of my building is going to be we'll build everything out of cobble to get the shape, then go back and then change it to, sandstone or whatever, and then go back and change out some of the sandstone for strip birch and change out some of the sandstone for smooth sandstone or, whatever. But it's a process for me. I can't, and I don't like to use the word can't, but my brain just doesn't process that way. I don't look at something and go, oh, okay, well, I need this, this, and this so I can have this gradient, and I need this, that, and the other so that I can have these shadows, and I just, yeah, it's just, I just don't. It's not that I'm stupid. I'm definitely not stupid. It's just that's not where my talent is. Okay, that breaks that up a little bit, and we're gonna break it up even more. Num, 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 num. Oh, I must have got it already. Let's see, let's see, let's see. what? It's already been 30 minutes. But I want to get this design set first. And then off camera, I can mimic it on the other sides. Mm. Well, that worked out better than I expected. Hmm. I am going to apologize again for getting quiet. I have a tendency to do that when I'm thinking. I'm old, and my brain can only do so much processing at one time. Um, let's make a change real quick. Let's do 313. That way it's more symmetrical. And no, not everything in every build has to be symmetrical. Sometimes the best builds, or what are considered the best builds by many, are actually not symmetrical at all. But I think I like that. It's not very gradual. There's only one coming down, but I didn't want it to be too short, and I didn't want it all the way up there. I just wanted some kind of a slight. As a matter of fact, let's try something else real quick. I know the timer went off. We're going to try something else. Let's try something else. those pieces up here. Okay. So we have the 3, and we have the 3, then we have the stairs marrying the two together. I like it, but I don't. This just seems so abrupt right here. If only there were actual half slabs in the game. And a lot of people are going to go, there are half slabs in the game, you just used them on the build. But the fact is, those are not half slabs, those are half blocks. It is a very common misstatement in the Minecraft community. They are called half slabs all the time. They are not half slabs, they are half blocks. They're slabs. Slabs are a half block. They are not a half slab, they're an actual slab. We don't have half slabs in Minecraft. Just letting you know. Bulletin, newsflash. But people have called them the wrong thing for so long that nobody cares. They don't think about it. It's not a thing. Lance. We may end up doing this whole thing in stairs. I gotta test this. Oh, I did that wacky name. Hang on. Okay, now that's all weird. I realize we're struggling on this. Hang on. We'll get there. We will get there. Okay, it's not giving me my blocks back. Give me my blocks back. Thank you. Okay. Alright. No. Did it keep my block again? No, there it is. Maybe I need to just bring that in. Maybe there's too much space here. Maybe that's the problem. 1, 2, 3. Two, three. Maybe that is the problem. Maybe I have it out too far. And another thing about building and saying something's a good build or a bad build or whatever, there are things that I have built that I really liked, and then there are times that I'm trying to build something else, and it may be the same style, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, that doesn't work here. It's not that there's something wrong with the build, it's just it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit the biome, or it doesn't fit the concept, or it doesn't fit whatever. If I use another stair, that's going to bring that down too much. That's not horrible. It's not horrible. I don't hate it. And another thing I have found through my many years of experience, because I'm an old woman, is a lot of times you build something and you're like, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna like that, and you sleep on it, and then you come back and you go, okay, yeah, I definitely hate it, or you come back and you go, actually, that's kind of cute. Let's see what we can do with that. So those are things to keep in mind when you're building. And another thing to keep in mind when you're building, it's a process. This is not the finished product. I don't think this is pretty. But I'm not going to tear it down because it's not pretty, because it's not finished. These are not all the blocks that are going to be here. We're going to put in windows, and there's going to be arches, and there's going to be greenery, and there's going to be stripped birch logs, and there's going to be some smooth sandstone. And this is not even, this is just a shape. That's all that is. That's a shape. It's something to start from. It is not even close to what it's going to look like. This is why we did the crops the way we did, so that we could come in here. And this method, my checkerboard method, I don't even know if this is applicable anymore, but back in the day, uh, if you alternated the crops like this, or maybe you planted wheat next to carrots, next to potatoes, next to beets, they would grow faster or whatever. And the thing is, to be honest, I'm really not worried about them growing fast. If they grow fast, great. If not, I'm not losing any sleep over it, because we're going to have this area loaded plenty trying to get this build situated. So whether these grow fast or not is irrelevant. But it's a habit. But we're getting enough carrots now. I think I'm just going to fill it in. Alright, let's sleep before the boogeyman comes. I need to find some beetroot. I know a lot of people don't care about beetroot. They're like, what are you going to do with beetroot? You can only use so much red dye, and beetroot soup doesn't stack, and, what good is beetroot? Well, I personally, like I said, I'm not a redstoner, so I'm not one of those people who's just going to automatically whip out a kelp farm or a cactus farm or whatever to have bone meal. And I do want to make some basic ones of those in this series, because even though I'm not trying to be some kind of world famous mumbo jumbo or whatever, I would like to learn how to do some basic simple farms. But anyway, I find that beetroot is the easiest and cheapest way to have a bone meal. Because, first of all, you get the beetroot, which doesn't have a whole lot of purpose. The only thing in game that I have found so far that has zero purpose, and technically that's not even true, is a rotten potato, poisonous potato. Because technically it's food, you can eat it. It's not great food, but it can be eaten. So technically it does have a purpose, not a great one. But anyway, um, a lot of people are not big fans of beetroot, but you plant it, you harvest it, especially if you have Fortune 3. You get quite a bit of beetroot, and then you get a lot of seeds. You replant, and you have all this leftovers stuff, and you throw that in a composter. Voila, it's easy, super easy, a bone meal. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I realize this is not pretty. It's not a pretty thing, but it will be. It will be. Have faith. Have faith. Gotta have faith, the faith, the faith. Gotta have faith. Anyway, thank you very much for putting up with me and taking the time to watch my video. I really, really, really appreciate it. Really, 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 really do. And we will see you later.